All right, today we're diving into something that causes a ton of frustration and wasted work in the software world. It's called requirement analysis. And trust me, getting this right up front can save you from a world of pain later on. So let's start with the problem, because I'm willing to bet you know this one all too well. It's that awful, sinking feeling in your stomach when you realize that hours, maybe even weeks of your hard work might have just gone down the drain. This one's a classic, right? You followed the instructions perfectly. You built exactly what they asked for, and you deliver it all proud, only to get a blank stare back. That gap between what somebody says and what they actually mean, oh man, it can be a canyon.
Or how about this one? Your manager drops a task on your desk and says, "Oh, this should be simple." But then you start digging in and, wow, it unravels into this hidden mountain of edge cases, weird dependencies, and technical debt. What was supposed to be a quick job is now threatening to blow up your whole sprint.
And then there's the worst case scenario. This is when the ambiguity infects the whole team. Everyone's just guessing what to do next. You're all working hard, heads down, but you're running on assumptions. And the result? You end up building a product in a completely wrong direction, a product nobody really wanted. It's just the ultimate waste of everyone's time. So does any of that sound familiar? If you're nodding your head right now, you are definitely not alone. These nightmares, they aren't just bad luck. They are the direct, predictable result of bad requirement analysis. But here's the good news, we can totally prevent. Okay, so how do we escape this rework nightmare? Well, we use a structured process. This isn't about being a mind reader or just, hoping for the best. It's about following a playbook that gets everyone on the same page and builds a rock-solid foundation from day one. So at its heart, requirement analysis is really a three-part translation. First, you take that initial kind of fuzzy idea they have. Second, you poke at it, you question it, you clarify it until it's a concrete, confirmed need. And third, you translate that need into a technical blueprint that your team can actually go and build. A perfect way to think about it is like buying a birthday gift. You wouldn't just guess and spend $100 on something, right? You'd ask some questions first. So why on earth would we spend thousands or even millions of dollars in development time on a feature that's based on a complete guess? This whole playbook really boils down to three main stages. Think of it like a funnel. You start super wide by gathering all the ideas and requests. Then you start to narrow it down by defining them really precisely. And finally, you end up with one single clear output that everyone, and I mean everyone, agrees on. Okay, step one, gathering. This is where you put on your detective hat. You're investigating, you're trying to uncover the real story. And this pro tip here is everything. Don't just hear, "I want a button." You have to always ask, but why do you need this button? Is it to submit a form, to export data, to cancel something? That why changes the entire game. All right, once you've got all that raw info, it's time for step two, definition. And here we split things into two buckets. You've got functional requirements, that's the what. The specific actions a user can take, like reset password. But then you have non-functional requirements. That's the how the system is. It needs to be fast, it needs to be secure. You have to define both, because a feature that works but is slow as molasses is a failed feature. And a fantastic tool for this part is the user story. It forces you to frame everything from the user's perspective. It's got the simple as a, I want to, so that structure. So, as a registered member, that's the role. I want to be able to reset my password, that's the goal, so that I can log in again if I forget it. And that's the motivation. See how that instantly connects the work to real user value? It's brilliant. And finally, step three, and please don't skip this one, validation. Look, just because you wrote a perfect document doesn't mean anyone understands it the same way you do. You've got to show, not just tell. Walk them through a prototype, let them click on the wireframes. The goal here isn't just to share information. It's to get a clear, documented agreement, a sign-off that says, yep, this is it, this is what we're building. So the process seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? Gather, define, validate. But there are some really common traps that even smart, experienced teams fall right into. Let's look at a few so you can spot them from a mile away. These mistakes are almost universal. First up, assuming a request is the whole story. Big mistake. Then there's jumping straight into coding before you really get the problem. That's a classic. Writing vague documentation that anyone can interpret differently, or my personal favorite, just completely ignoring all the edge cases and exceptions. Every single one of these is a guarantee you'll be doing rework later. Right about now, you might be thinking, hang on, this sounds like a job for a project manager. And yeah, they often lead the charge. But your involvement as an engineer isn't just helpful. No, it is an absolute game changer. So what exactly is your role in all this? This brings us right back to the title of this whole thing, Build Right, Not Hard. Look, the goal isn't just to work hard, it's to work smart. And jumping into this analysis process is how you make sure you're building the right thing from the get-go, which is always easier than fixing the wrong thing later. As an engineer, you bring some serious superpowers to this conversation. You're the one who can connect the what they want to the how we'll build it, helping everyone see the real-world trade-offs. You're the early warning system. You can spot a technically impossible or ridiculously expensive idea before anyone gets too attached to it. And when you have this clarity up front, you can actually give accurate estimates and manage your own time way more effectively. You see, what this all does is it creates this powerful shift. When you engage in analysis, you totally elevate your role. You're not just a coder waiting for a ticket anymore. You become a strategic partner, a problem solver who makes sure the team's precious energy is spent building things that actually matter. So I'll leave you with this one last thought. The next time you get a new task, just pause. Before you open your IDE, before you think about a single algorithm, ask yourself this one simple but incredibly powerful question. Answering it honestly, that's the difference between building something hard and building something right.